Thank you, Acting Deputy Speaker. It should come as neither a shock nor a surprise to anyone to see me getting to my feet to support the member for Layla's motion on fee-free TAFE. It was only just last week where the Minister for Skills and Training came into this place to celebrate National TAFE Day. But I contend that every week is a good week to be celebrating TAFE. And it's a mantra the Albanese Labor government has taken to heart from the day it was elected, and for that matter, years prior to being elected. For many years, TAFE as an institution and the vocational education and training sector more broadly has been left to languish under the previous government. It has had to suffer the rhetorical indignity of being the poorer cousin compared to obtaining a university education. Starting from everything that has come to pass since the Jobs and Skills Summit, I am hopeful that preconception has diminished somewhat. The state of Australia's labour market should act as a wake-up call to any holdouts. Coming into office, the Albanese Labor government had a number of challenges to overcome in this space, starting with having the second highest labour supply shortages across OECD countries, a country with 3 million people lacking fundamental skills required to participate in training and secure work. Further compounded by estimates stating that 9 out of 10 new jobs will require post-secondary school education, with 4 of those being VET qualifications. The Albanese Labor government is taking care of the five of those jobs through the Australian Universities Accord, with the interim report and legislation supporting the recommendations of the interim report already passing through this House. As for the other 4 of those jobs, it is something that our TAFE educators are both poised and primed to address. Our government knows that higher education and VET are not competing with one another, nor should we have a higher value placed on one over the other. In fact, to quote the Australian Universities Accord interim report, Australia's skills needs will only be met if the higher education system and an expanded VET system, with TAFE at its core, work together within a more integrated system to deliver the flexible, transferable skills people want and need. This system can only get to that point because now there is a government at the helm that cares about TAFE and is willing to see it grow after repairing nearly a decade of neglect under the Abbott, Turnbull, Morrison governments. And the Albanese Labor government embarked on fee-free TAFE courses with the hopes of not just jump-starting the TAFE and vocational education and training sectors, but also to start addressing some of our greatest skill shortages, both in the short term and the long term. We knew this would not be easy for many Australians out there to make the choice of upskilling themselves, going on a sea change in their careers into a wholly new vocation. It can never be easy, no matter the headwinds one is facing. That is why offering these TAFE enrolments without fee is so important. It helps to make that thought process just a bit easier. I'm continually proud to say that my state of South Australia was the canary in the coal mine with this policy. The Malinowskis Labor government in South Australia was the first to enter into a national skills agreement with the Commonwealth government to deliver fee-free TAFE placements. It was an agreement that injected more than $65 million into the state's skills and training sector. This was sorely needed after the Marshall Liberal government, in only 4 years, moved to privatise and gut as much of the sector as they could before the clock finally struck election time. South Australia has put those fee-free places to good use, with a number of sectors benefiting the most, such as agriculture, horticulture and winemaking, construction, early childhood education, tourism and event management, IT and cyber security and many more. Across the nation, in the first 6 months of fee-free TAFE, we have seen 215,000 enrolments, well beyond the expected 180,000. 51,000 of those enrolments being in the care sector, 16,700 in technology and digital sectors and 21,000 in the construction sector. The breakdown in the data also shows that 51,000 of those placements have gone to job seekers and to over 15,000 people with disabilities. Despite this, we have seen from none other than the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, the member for Farrer, calling fee-free TAFE wasteful spending. In my closing statements, I just want to touch on that because I've been the lucky recipient of a TAFE education. It gave me a very, very rewarding 10 years as a seafarer in the maritime transport sector, and without my training that I received at TAFE, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to progress and eventually come to this place. So I proudly stand in support of TAFE. Thank you.
Thank the member.